batch of international students. And because, the campus they are studying at is very compact. I mean, the dorm buildings of our international students is so closely neighboring with our Chinese student dormitories. And they are sort of not really making noise, but they are like, with music, that kind of thing, very loud. And, the Chinese students, including some Chinese professors, they were complaining against our international students, say they are sort of stay over the night and they cannot sleep well. So we decided to switch off at 11:30. That was a kind of riot. I was thinking, because that night I was at home and I had a shower and ready to go to sleep, and suddenly my mobile phone was ringing. And they answered the phone in a very, very angry way. I was informed that the student was in the right, and they were in the lobby, and nobody would like to go back to the dorm because of the switch off the power. I drove my car to the campus and talked with the student. I was, at the very beginning, very calm and smiling. What's going on? I asked them. I was waiting, actually, someone to speak. I will pick up someone who's smoking. And then one boy said that, sir, I cut him off. I say, you stop up. You shut up. If you cannot follow this university's regulation, please give me your passport. You can go back home now. Then suddenly, I noticed everybody was sort of creeping and silently rushed back to the dorms. And the whole building was silent from now on. And Dr. Avicii told me this is a good incident. If we have the control at the very beginning, it will be convenient for the university to handle the students. So still now on, nobody will complain that they will switch off at 11:30 in the evening, at night. And of course, like holidays will postpone like to the 12:30 or sometime. Okay, this is kind of incident, measures or ways. One thing I would like to share with my colleagues here is that in the past years, what we did is sort of trying to help our students to get used to the Chinese university's campus life, that kind of. So we emphasize the orientation. Dali University, in my university, we do not have an international school. No. Our MBBS students, they are studying at the preclinical or clinical. They're staying with the Chinese students on their campuses. So we do not have a specific institution or a college, especially for international schools. So the orientation, we invited like the police officers who was controlling the visas. We invited the, those teachers who are working in the like teaching affairs office, student affairs office, from the budget office, asked all of them to give a kind of orientation for our students, and it works. And I think this is a good way. And also we have a very strict attendance checking system. Last year in October, China's Ministry of Education sent a kind of experts or evaluators to my university to double check the quality of the MBBS program, like the teaching facilities, the teaching qualities, and all those things related to our MBBS program. They were sort of amazed to notice that our students, they are punctual for the class. But I know this is not true in our daily life because of their kind of examination, but they understand because they are deans, they are professors, most of them are running MBBS programs. But this is true if we have, if we can sort of have a strong or strict policy, a strict kind of discipline for them to check the attendance. Like if you have failed to arrive in time for how many times, you're not allowed for the finals. It works. And also we have dormitory control policies. Due to the time constraint, I'll not explain too much about that and other related regulations. Campus culture activities was try to attract our international students to participate different kind of campus cultural activities. So they enjoy And meanwhile, they sort of, follow the university's regulations. Law education also give them the precautionary alertness. And on-campus South Asian flavor canteen. I got to mention, Dr. Gamble helped us to find an Indian cook. And we used to have one in the stop for a while, because especially for the freshmen, when they arrive the campus, they're sort of not so well accustomed to the Chinese food. They are trying, and now the canteens there for our South Asian students. I cannot say Indian food. I think India or Pakistan or Nepal maybe some similarities. And off-campus coordination and the cooperations with like the PSB, local PSB, and some other government departments. And very strict regulations for those violators. We expelled quite a lot of students because they violated the university's regulations. And also, Dr. Avijit mentioned one issue is the first group of students who involved group fighting in the year 2006, I think, early in 2006. And we expelled 5 students altogether. And after that moment, because at that time Dr. Avijit, he was from 2005 batch, right now he's a PG student now, he told me that everything's calm, quiet, and everybody realized we got to, follow the university's regulations or rules, or maybe suddenly you will be expelled without any notification, any announcement. You just expelled. So very strict. But whether they are the international student or Chinese student, they are young people. They committed this kind of mistakes or that kind of mistakes. So I think this is okay. It's not, some Chinese coordinators, administrators, some Chinese teachers, they say, oh my God, you see those international students, they are doing blah, blah, blah. But they never realize our Chinese students are doing the same, right? Like fighting. The Chinese students, they are fighting, but they say, oh. So they are sort of, I think we got to let them know what's going on here. So thank you very much for your attention. I'm waiting for your questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Liu Bing. A very exhaustive, detailed view of how you are managing the students and how successfully you are doing that. And it's very eye-opening for us that most of us are thinking on the same lines, because most of us are facing the similar kind of challenges or troubles, as Professor Paul wished to say. So we have got a clear clue about certain directions. One common area evolving, as I can see, is that increasingly we feel that the students need to be oriented of what they can expect and what is expected out of them. In this direction, many universities have already started as orientation program or entrance program, as Madam Chen Chun was telling that she plans to have an entrance program, so wherein it can be, clearly detailed out to the students. We are also doing almost similar thing in back home. We have already started from last year a mandatory orientation program for 1 month. And before the students come to China, they are exposed to the syllabus of medicine, small orientation with anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry, and also taught Chinese language. And I clearly remember we were in the inaugural session of Dali University this year, and some of the new students were, greeting Professor Liu Bing in Chinese language. And he said that, how do you know this? So, they have been trained during that 1 month on Chinese language. And I feel, since everybody is thinking on the same line, we can improve this. While conducting this orientation program, we can have a sort of a simulation, maybe little more exposure through, PowerPoints or through creating an environment which is a kind of a simulating environment for the students, I think they will be able to adopt faster. And some of the measures that has been taken by the universities to, punish the errant students, I think should be also published for the knowledge, because, fear is the key. The students should fear that there can be some kind of punishment, and they should not take the university or us for granted that even if they do some mistake, we will keep on, exonerating them. So that is one theory. Another area is that everybody is concerned about the admission quality of the students. In this, I have made certain, little bit of observations about how the student has fared in last 10 years of our recruitment, because so far it is like this, that it is based on their qualifying exam marks. We check their 10+2 marks. So based on the 10+2 marks is what we take them, and what we send them out is their performance in the license exam. So vis-a-vis these two, I have made some assessment which I'd like to show and share with you. We have, these are live records and these are factual data.
I think the panelists could...
No, it's okay. I'll read it out. Total students appeared for MCI test is 1,067. Total students appeared for MCI is 1,067. Total passed is 810. And 257 students yet to pass. Now those who have passed, I have segregated them into first chance, second chance, third chance, and more number than third chance. And their band of high school records. See, this is the result. We have students below 60%, 183 students out of those 810 students who passed, is 183 below 60%. Now below 60%, you see, out of them 67 students out of 183 passed in first chance MCI. Second, you can see between 61 and 70, 64 students passed in first chance. Now you come to the 71 to 80, you will see out of 202, 81 students have passed. Now this is a graph which is showing the numerical numbers. It's not showing the percentage. If you check that it's only 40% students who have passed out of say 71 to 80% in first chance. That is 81 students out of 202. Whereas in 183 students, you will find that 67 students have passed, which is almost 45% of the students. So here you come to the greater than 91%, you will find that still greater than 91% also does not necessarily ensure that they first pass in the first chance. What I'm trying to say here is that the high school records are not a definitive clue of what the student will perform in a professional education. Sometimes they do very well in high school, but they don't do well in university. Because one major thing I have seen in the environment is quite different. Because in the high school, at least in India and Bangladesh and Nepal, I find that they are in a day schooling system. That means they stay with the family, go to the school and come back. So, and most of the families are nuclear families nowadays. The parents have a lot of time to see to it and monitor the progress of the child. This helps the student to do well. At the same time, they make them dependent on the family support for their planning, for their day-to-day planning of studies, and they are self-planning. When they go to the university, they are left to fend for themselves. They do not get that support. Sometimes they cannot manage their life and manage their time well. That is why they may not do performance well. Also, not many, but some of the students I have seen do not have commitment to study medicine, but they have joined because their family has wanted them to join. Things like that, the lack of commitment also comes up. To solve these problems and also share that, professional education is never given to somebody who doesn't seek it. It's not an academic education like, doing your graduation, bachelor's degree and master's degree. It is professional education means you are expected, end of your program, a professional, which calls for a commitment. Thereby, I think that all of the panelists have also agreed that some kind of test is required to be done. So, we have already taken test as Leone University is conducting test on Skype. Many of our universities, we have conducted the test during the orientation program and shared the results with the universities. This year, we have planned to formalize this even more. And what we have decided is, no, next, other slide. The presentation. What we have decided is to conduct a test, is called Overseas Medical Admission Test. So, we are going to conduct Overseas Medical Admission Test. I'll just read out a little bit for the, because the funds are not so big. It's basically to promote a planned and sustainable development of medical education, consistent with the rules and regulations of all participating countries, universities and legal bodies governing medical education, which are the stakeholders. What I mean to say here is that this is not confined to one country. It is confined, it is touching barriers of geographic boundaries and political boundaries. It is going to touch, because we have aspirations, we means we, universities which are conducting, I'm representing them. On behalf of that, I'm saying we have aspirations to get students from all across the globe. Now, if we have to get all across the globe and give them meaningful education, which will be acceptable back home their country, we have to check what is required and what we can give. At the same time, we have to ensure our own standards so that our brand is not diluted at any point of time. And we can make a very good mark on the globe as modern and, very high level of educators for medical education. So this is a very planned and sustainable development. Extend opportunities for medical education all across the world, because medical education still is not available everywhere as much as is required. That is a fact. And whatever is possible, we should do to promote it. Maintain the highest standards of integrity in conduction and evaluation of the examination. This examination we would like to do in a very meaningful manner so that over the years it gains a very premium position as an entrance examination which can be used by any university or many universities across the globe. Collaborate with similar certification bodies to enhance the quality and content of the exam. That is very important, because here you have to understand that you will be testing students who have studied their high school curriculum from different boards. And different boards, different countries with different kind of subjects. So coming to a common platform, benchmarking them against a common platform, one has to holistically do a research on what should be the question so that it is not biased against anybody, it is not favoring anybody. So that is a challenge which we wish to do. Prescribe norms with a focus on quality and social justice for admission and recruitment of students. Because still I know somebody, so I got an admission. I don't know, so I didn't got an admission. Here, it will be open to all. People will come to know, and more number, I think the basic net will be spread much more. Because there's a limitation to any individual organization spreading. So if we have formally, install a place where students can seek information, I feel that it will promote definitely justice in terms of making it available to all meritorious and desirous students. Arrange for counseling service, optimal placement and grievance redressal in connection to the conduction of exam. We have installed those systems also, that in case anybody is aggrieved by the result of the exam, he can approach the redressal committee and it will be done. The objective is to conduct exam to improve the quality of students securing admission in universities abroad. Basically, the quality of the students must be ensured. High school marks are not the only, key denominator for the quality of the student. The examination is required. And here, what we would like to do is, we would not like to get involved into the admission process. What we would like to do is only do the conduction of admission test and declare the marks and result, and also give a percentile. That means suppose 10,000 students have written the test, what is my percentile? That is important. Among the class, what is my position? So we'll give the percentile and also the overall marks. Initially, we have already finalized to conduct this in India, Bangladesh and Nepal. We are already talking with our partners in other countries like Malaysia and Mauritius to hold this. 13 July has been the date fixed for test in India. We are holding it in 22 centers in India. And we are expecting approximately 10 to 15,000 students writing this exam in India this year. And I'm sure in coming years, because I'll share with you an information, more than 215,000 students have written the entrance examination for medical study in India after high school for the Indian medical colleges, government medical colleges. In India, unlike in China, we have, or even in Bangladesh and Nepal, we have two dual systems. That is, we have institutes and universities which are run and funded and controlled by government. And we also have private universities and private colleges which are controlled and governed by government by policies, but individual operation, day-to-day operation, they are autonomous and they are self-funded. So these two both coexist there. So this 215,000 students is basically for the government universities and government colleges, and the total number of seats is about 30,000 plus. So there is 170,000 students who are writing for the exams, but who won't be able to secure a seat. So here we expect about 10 to 15,000 in the first year, because it takes time to promote, and when we can establish it year after year, slowly the momentum will increase. And we will be holding similar exams in Bangladesh and Nepal, but the date is not fixed, it will be a later date, because the high school results of Bangladesh and Nepal comes out little later than what it comes out in India. So to accommodate those students, after their high school examination and their results, we will be conducting the test little later date in Nepal and Bangladesh. The dates are yet to be finalized. The admission test will be conducted in a free and fair manner, and we have settled for a committee of 8 members, out of which 5 members are from the academic circles, who will be the executive committee, and there will be an advisory appellate committee in India. We have decided that there will be 3 people. One from judiciary is a retired high court judge, and then we have an academician who is a vice chancellor, which is equivalent to your president's rank of a university in India. The vice chancellor is the head of the university, so a retired vice chancellor, and a retired secretary of the government administration who was connected with the medical education earlier will be the advisory committee, and this committee shall also act as an appellate committee. As I told you, the exam shall be conducted in 22 locations in India, 1 in Nepal, that is in Kathmandu, and 1 in Bangladesh, that is in Dhaka. This is the event calendar. I shall certainly share all these details with you. I'll send it across to you in your email. This is more or less, I'll just give you a rundown. The 21st May, we will be opening this site. It's called omat.in, where students will be allowed to apply through online. And then subsequently, we will be, giving them the hall tickets, again online. And 13th July, we will conduct the test. 14th July, we'll give the key answers on the net. They can check themselves what they got. And 17th July, we'll give the final answer keys. And 18th July, we'll publish the score. So this is our plan. One, we all know, but still I have tried to, identify what OMAT can satisfy, why OMAT is important. One is, governments of all countries are concerned about the quality of medical graduates. There's nothing wrong to share. As I have told in my opening speech also, that I have seen through interactions, everybody is worried, though everybody is happy that all of us, those who are involved, are taking initiatives to educate the world and educate the future generation. It is very important that the quality is ensured to make it sustainable. I just met in the first week of April, the ambassador of India to China in Beijing, and he said that you are doing a good thing, no doubt, but be sure that you attach quality to the education system, particularly the good quality students, because if they do not pass their license exam, they don't have a future in their country. And then they may resort to, things which are not expected out of them. So naturally, it will be a very difficult situation to handle. So be careful about the quality of students at you, and also improve the quality of the education, which of course we are doing on the other side. So imperative to evaluate quality of intake. It is very important that I understand what is the quality of intake, because on the academic side, a teacher is expected to bring in communication with the students. Now, if you have too much heterogeneous background of the students, your communication cannot take place. If somebody can understand, somebody is very intelligent, can understand something very good, then he wants more to learn. Whereas somebody is weak and a poor learner or a slow learner, he needs to be taught slowly. Now, if this bandwidth is too much, it is very difficult for a single teacher to conduct a class meaningfully. What the other day some professor was saying, transmitter and receiver, I understand that. If the transmitter and receiver is not tuned in, no communication will take place. There will be only noise. There won't be any sound. We want quality sound. And for that, it is very important that the receiver and the transmitter is tuned in. And to have that, when a teacher is teaching, he is one singular. So he is homogeneous in his deliberation. If the classroom is too much heterogeneous, then it is very difficult. So at least through this test, we will be able to bring them at par, the class, and we know what is the bandwidth like. Good quality students make for better doctors, okay? A homogeneous classroom, as I was saying, is terms of academic profiling can be maintained. Number of pass-outs, graduating students can be increased, because that is one objective. That is, there are two things. One is the raw material, then is the process, and then is the output. So if we are improving one side, the process, that is through this academic conference, we are trying to find out how we can improve pedagogy, how we can improve syllabus, how we can improve our teaching, and through campus discipline, how to improve their stay and lifestyle. On the other side, we need to increase the quality of raw material, that is, increase the quality of intake. Number of students getting through their exams is the output of their, the outcome of this is that they will pass in first chance. My sincere wish, believe you me, that after so many years in this field, almost 10 years past, the 11th year of operation here, and my sincere wish is that any student joining any of my university should pass their FMG exam in first chance. No questions asked. You join my university, you pass in first chance. Now, we have to now ensure that we get the right quality of student so that we can make them pass in first chance. Entry barriers make for a more respectable college. You walk in and you submit your application and you pay your fees and you get in, it does not add value to the brand of the program or brand of the university. So we create an entry barrier. You write your test, prove your way through, not just walk in. So this will help that. And secondly, this fraternity of OMAT colleges, when the universities, and I am trying to get in already, I've got confirmation from universities in Bangladesh, Nepal, and Ukraine to join this OMAT. So, a larger fraternity of universities will evolve, and there can be larger interactions between them. And among the fraternity of teachers and colleges, there will be circulation of names and better understanding of this. And branding and visibility of the colleges or the universities definitely improve. So, respected panelists and my distinguished listeners and participants, this is our humble suggestion, and this is what we have thought of from our side, what we can do in terms of improving the quality and bring some kind of formality to the admission procedure. Yes, we are now open for questions from the panelists and from the audience, and to the panelists also.
Yeah, the suggestion, the test is a very good suggestion because it's from the beginning we can get the good quality. And this test, if you follow the time before, you see sometimes it's in May, take in May, or take it in June or in July. This would solve the problem. This morning I said, the students come here not in September or in October or December. My question is, if this test OMAT only for this one, or only this is one of the one, and when you recruit students, you have to still wait the graduate, the senior school and the graduate examination point or not. This is one. If you don't need to wait, that's okay, and solve the problem. If still wait, that problem cannot solve. Second question is, OMAT is a good suggestion. Is that possible to be approved by the MCI? Because as I know that the MCI, when any student to come to China to study, must be registered by MCI. Two questions.
Thank you, Professor Pang. Two very important questions. I'll take one by one. First question is whether we need to consider the high school records. Yes, we need to consider the high school records. High school record is the qualifying exam. I mean, if he has not passed that, done extremely well in my examination, I cannot admit him because he is not qualified. Only among the qualified students, I can choose the best. But first is the qualification, so we cannot avoid that. But let me tell you why the students come late. It is not because of the qualifying exam. It is because most of the students apply for a passport only when they decide to go. They normally do not have a passport. And in India, and in some countries also, it takes a long time to passport. For instance, right now the system in India is that you have to go online and apply, and you get an interview date. And that is sometimes 1 month, 1.5 months, depending upon which city you are in and how much the load or applications is there in that city. Some cities it is faster, 3 weeks, sometimes it is 6 weeks, just to go and apply. And after that, it takes normally, in a normal procedure, 2 months for police verification, and some of them stay quite superb, not in the city, so that the file goes to the police station local, they do the inquiry, send it back, so it takes long time. Somewhere it is easier. And now, of course, there is a system of urgent. So you pay extra to the government and they do it urgently. But still that takes another 2 weeks. So sometimes it takes about minimum 5 to 6 weeks. That is one of the reasons it is delayed. It's not the high school record, because high school records, whatever is it, all will come out by 30th June. All boards across India. And across, Bangladesh and Nepal, of course, comes a little later. My friend here will be able to say when it comes out, but it comes later. Coming to the second question. What was your second question?
Yeah, MCI.
Yes.
Would it be
whether
approved
this
by
can be
MCI?
approved by MCI. Let me explain to you what is the role of MCI. Role of MCI is to control the proficiency of the doctors who practices in India, that they are qualified, competent doctors, and they have made it mandatory, to register with them. That is available in all countries. Every country has a professional board to register the professional members who are competent to do that. Now, this admission test is a test to select high school graduates. The subjects that MCI deals is not dealt in this test. Number one. Number two is, in India itself, parallelly, there are more than 100 tests going on. Why? I'll tell you. Government conducts one test that is for Government of India, all the colleges. Then each state government conduct their own test. Then all the private universities, they conduct their own test. And this particular test, we are thinking of covering other universities of other countries. So MCI alone cannot have a role there. Neither, I think, the medical councils are competent, or, I mean, they are so high overcompetent, rather, I should say, because they specialize in medical education. Whereas here, we are going to test them for the students for their knowledge of biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and English. So these are the high school subjects which are not actually the purview of medical education. So I don't think there is any possibility of getting it approved by MCI. But once this test is conducted, we can take opinion from the experts of MCI members and all, and I'm sure they all will appreciate, because informally I have discussed with them. Everybody said it's a brilliant idea, you should go ahead and do it. But we can take this kind of, opinions from the experts of medical field, but as such, official approval is not required, or there's no scope for such approval. Secondly, I should also make you aware that MCI from last year, that is from 2013, has done away with the system of issuing eligibility certificate. They are not issuing eligibility certificate anymore from 2013 batch students. Up to 2012, they have issued eligibility. Because too many people are applying and they find it too difficult, so they have put it in the website that this is your condition. That is, you must get so much in physics, so much in chemistry, so much in biology, so much in English, and you should be 17 years of age and you should be an Indian national. You're qualified. Go and study, come back with these records, you are qualified. Okay. Because there is no discretion in the eligibility. It is just a matter of fact.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have to think about, because since we are a stakeholder, because we are taking the student from outside, we should need some sort of a control mechanism, number one. Number two, we need the quality of a student. That's why we launched this program from Nepal Medical Council.